This might be the most dramatic NBA trade deadline in history. It's your boy Nelly Nell from Hoop Live. We got another episode of Check Up. Joining in, I got NBA experts David and Andrew Fung from the Fung Brothers.
What up?
Man, we are going to go over some of the craziest NBA trades before All-Star break, and they changed the NBA.
Yeah, I think what we really need to talk about is which teams do we think got better and increased their chances, and which teams might have got worse.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I feel like teams are a lot better at making the trades even nowadays. It used to seem like back in the day, somebody get an A grade and somebody gets an F grade, but I noticed it's a lot more gray zone nowadays.
Did anybody get fleeced? I think that's a question that people want to know.
Man, we're about to get into it, but starting off, we got one of the biggest trades, man. Suns, Nets, Bucks, and Pacers. KD to the Suns. Man, what y'all think, man?
Oh, man, to be honest, I think the Suns are got to be like contenders up there with Denver for the West. I mean, I would say it would make it Denver and the Suns, but here's the thing. The Suns, they mortgage the future, so now they have literally probably a 2-year window to win.
Yup.
Yeah, and let me tell you this. I don't think Ja Morant's happy because he thought the West was all sweet.
He said, we good in the West.
Yeah, I think with their big four, obviously Ayton, Booker, CP, KD, if everybody is healthy, I would actually put them as favorites. I have
finals.
Them. Personally,
To
I
win.
think they...
You mean to come out of the West?
They are going to come out of the West, and they're going to win the championship. Not by a lot. I would not bet a lot of money on it, but I just think, like, they got a good shot now.
And as Nets fans, what's the future for the Nets going to be like?
Man, I mean, I think it's just a rebuild now. You know, I will say the one thing that I think a lot of people are underestimating is how good this team can be even without the picks. Like, you know, obviously with the picks, you can either use them to try to draft some transcendent players. Hopefully there are ones available in the upcoming drafts. But obviously, I think the team right now is better than people think it is. It's more competitive.
Yeah. No, I would say, first of all, they're still a playoff team. I think if you made me project, I think they end at 6th or 7th seed at the least, right? And I actually think everybody on that team, they're long, they're strong, they can hit threes, they like to play D, they all have good attitudes. And I think Jacques Vaughn, as a coach, he's been doing a good job. So honestly, I think this team is going to surprise you. Obviously, they're not contenders anymore. That's clear. But I mean, I think they're going to have fun. I mean, they just beat the Bulls, and everybody was smiling. I mean,
now, what do you think? Because you technically,
I'm saying there's good vibes in Brooklyn.
Technically,
right
I guess you're less biased.
I mean, I support the Nets, you know, after, you know, being a New York local for a little bit. You know, we mess with the Nets. But speaking of the Nets, Kyrie to the Mavs for Spencer Dinwiddie and, you know, Dorian Finney-Smith.
And the picks.
And some picks and a bunch of picks. But what do y'all think about that one, man?
Oh, man, I think the Mavs do get better, but it's almost a similar situation to the Suns. Like right now, the NBA, there's so much parity where all the teams kind of feel equal. I see a lot of people sacrificing 3, 4, 5 years down the future to try to win now.
Yep.
Because a lot of people, they're worried about keeping their superstars. They're worried about injuries. You know, like everybody's just getting injured nowadays. Like they want to win now because it seems like the East and the West is all up for grabs.
Well, how well do you think, and I think that Luka and Kyrie are going to play okay together at the very least, but how well do you think it's going to work out?
Yeah, like out of 10.
I think down the stretch during the playoffs, I think they're gonna start bumping heads when things don't go, you know, their way.
You mean
like,
if somebody takes a bad shot?
Yeah, someone takes a bad shot or someone's ball hogging way too much. You know, between Luka and Kyrie, they're both very ball dominant players. So it's very interesting to see how well they're gonna get along. But in the playoffs, it's going to be a lot different. But it's also a good thing because you got two amazing playmakers now for the Mavs where, you know, they can either create for their own or, you know, create for others.
I guess how different is it than when Kyrie was with KD? Because obviously KD and Luka are different, but they're not, I wouldn't say they're like opposite players either.
Because I feel like KD is probably, you know, considered one of the greatest scorers of all time, but, you know, KD doesn't have that drive and kick out type of, you know, game to create.
He's not much of a passer.
Whereas, like, you know, Kyrie and Luka are like, can pass the hell out of that rock as well, you know?
You know what I was saying? I was saying a lot of it's going to be on like Tim Hardaway Jr. And a lot of people are like, what do you mean? Tim Hardaway Jr. is almost like a player that people are trying to like buy out, right? But I'm like he's gonna get
so
like
many
8
open shots.
8 to 10 open threes, right? Like whether in the regular season or the playoffs, he just gotta shoot them at like over 40%.
Yeah, I think actually offensively, Kyrie and Luka are gonna work fine. I would predict maybe a 7.5 out of 10. Maybe not 10 out of 10, obviously, but Luka does kind of mirror a lot of the skills that LeBron has. So when like LeBron and Kyrie were together, however, I think there's like no defense in that backcourt. Like offensively, that is probably one of the most talented backcourts I mean, of the past 10 years.
Well, you mean since Harden and Kyrie?
Yeah. No, but even because Luka's at a better point in his career even than when Harden and Kyrie got together, right? Harden was like starting to slip a little bit. But no, I mean, there's just not a lot of defense there. So
Yeah, but
think that's
I
something
like
to worry about.
Spencer. I like Dorian Finney-Smith.
No, I think the Nets are pretty. I think don't sleep on the Nets, man. The Nets are still gonna make the playoff, and they're gonna play hard as a team, like overall, playing very good team ball. And I feel like they got a good, positive culture down there.
I actually
sure.
think this Nets team is a lot more likable than it was with KD and Kyrie. Like, I'm not saying those aren't better players, obviously, but it's just like it was just so much centered around them.
Sometimes
They were
just the
getting what
vibe,
they
man.
want.
It's
Yeah,
about the vibe and the ambiance.
Yep. Man, all right, moving to our next big trade. We got Lakers, Grizzlies, and the Timberwolves, man. Russell Westbrook finally out of LA. Minnesota gets
Your
Mike
favorite.
Conley. And then LA gets D'Lo back.
Nelson, how happy are you to get D'Lo back? You have tattoos because of D'Lo, because D'Lo
what?
had tattoos.
I got Bing in my veins.
Yeah, I got ice in my head. Bing, bing, bing. But D'Lo was one of my favorite players as a Laker back in the day. I mean, it's a win-win situation, I think, for the Lakers. They get rid of Russ, and they get a really good spot-up shooter, three-point shooter.
What do you
in
think,
D'Lo.
real quick? I got to ask you, just because you're such a big D'Lo fan, about this crazy career arc he's been on. Because he leaves the Lakers. He gets hella good with Brooklyn.
Becomes an all-star.
He starts the ice in the veins thing. It becomes a meme to the people who don't even watch basketball. They doing all this, but
Yeah.
they don't even know what came from D'Lo. And then he goes to the Wolves, and they're supposed to have a big three there, and it's almost like they don't even want him anymore. You know what I mean? Like, his career went up 2 notches in Brooklyn, and it maybe dropped 2.5 notches in Minnesota.
I just think in Minnesota, man, for D'Lo, I think the coach, there's no winning culture, and everybody's just trying to get their own, their own highlights, their own buckets. We know what. Don't get me wrong, Anthony Edwards is an incredible player. Karl Anthony Towns is an incredible player, but I just think the mindset as a culture and a team is just not all
But
good.
isn't
So
that part of D'Lo's fault for because I would say he almost doesn't contribute to team culture. Like, he's not necessarily like the guy who's taking everybody out to dinner, checking on everybody, like the Tom Brady.
Yeah, no,
leader.
that's true. That's fair. I feel like his leadership skills, ain't the greatest for sure. But it's curious to see, D'Lo play with a player like LeBron, who's gonna really
who
keep them
does
in
all the
check.
leadership things.
How
Exactly.
much better of a fit is D'Lo than Russ? Obviously, I know D'Lo, he can shoot threes, right? Both are not great defenders.
I think the Lakers improved a little bit, obviously just fit wise, because Lakers needed a good spot up 3-point shooter, and then Russ couldn't do that, right? But you'd be surprised, man. I think Lakers are not gonna be that much better. They're not gonna be favorites to contend, but they put some pieces together in this trade
Can they
deadline.
win a playoff series?
Yeah, they're probably gonna make it to the second round.
And then,
As a Laker fan, they probably gonna.
yeah, I mean, they got
It's
Braun.
possible.
Well-
They just added Mo Bamba, from Orlando, traded Pat Bev.
They kind of got
They got
kinda-
some defense now.
I think that they were going viral for all the wrong reasons. Pat Bev, even though he's hilarious,
Yeah.
it's not adding to basketball winning. Russ was just getting going viral for being miscontent. Like, he just wasn't happy.
All right, next topic, guys. I gotta ask you guys: does Jay Crowder really help the Bucks? Does that solidify the Bucks as oh man, it was either
Let me
them
tell
or
you this.
Celtics?
Let me tell you this.
Does Jay Crowder even
I
make this
think
difference?
The Bucks think so because they've been chasing Jay Crowder for 3 years.
Man, in the beginning, when I first saw the trade, I saw Milwaukee give up George Hill, Serge Ibaka, and Jordan Nwora. I was like, man, the Bucks gave up kind of a lot just for Jay Crowder. But then I realized they got Jay Crowder to stop, the Boston duo of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown in the playoffs. Because they need a guy like Jay Crowder to really slow those guys down at the three.
Can he
at the
actually-
three-
And also, I think the Bucks, they went against Jay Crowder when Jay Crowder was playing for the Suns in the finals, right?
They did, yep.
So they were
yep.
like, I want this guy.
Yep.
And I feel like he's still young enough where he's still got something in the tank. Whereas PJ Tucker is also one of
Yeah,
those
they
type of
lost to
players.
PJ Tucker type
But the
player
thing is,
when they won.
PJ Tucker is he probably over the hill at this point, just in terms of age wise to contribute. But Jay,
He's in Philly, right? Yeah, I don't remember.
I think he is. Yeah. But then I'm saying Jay Crowder still got something in the tank.
Okay, so how about the Clippers? How are the Clippers doing right now?
Oh, man. Speaking of the Clippers, man, they got rid of Reggie Jackson. They traded Luke Kennard, traded John Wall back to Houston,
Who's probably, I'm assuming he's gonna get bought
and
out.
they got David Funk back, to the Clippers.
Eric Gordon.
AKA Eric Gordon.
And I think that they also got Bones Highland as well, right?
Oh, Bones Highland was a huge
So
pickup
how
for
much
losing
did the
Reggie
Clippers
Jackson.
improve?
I would say Clippers definitely improved. You know, they got rid of John Wall. You know, John Wall, he's not gonna help a lot in the playoffs, man. Bones Highland instant offense. But they lost Luke Kennard. Luke Kennard's pretty big though. He's, a really good 3-point shooter.
Side question: did it kind of feel like John Wall and Russell Westbrook's careers were kind of going in a similar direction? Like the highly talented, super fast, super athletic point guards, but just like nobody, like they just weren't making the team.
Well, I'll tell you this. They're thinking about replacing John Wall, what they thought John Wall potentially could add with Russ. Because Russ, a lot of people believe he's going to get bought out by the Jazz soon.
And go to the Clippers.
Yeah.
So you're saying Russ still got more?
I don't think that's going to work, man. Russ already had his time with PG, and look where that went.
Right.
Interesting.
I just think like Russ, he still has something in the tank, but he got to give up this like superstar mentality.
Right.
But
Like
I don't think he is, though. That's the thing. I think if Russ decides to stay in Utah, I think he might actually do pretty well in Utah.
No, I definitely
with the
think
players in Utah.
Laurie marketing stats going down though.
Yeah.
I think
Jordan
Russ
Clarkson.
can still make a good impact, but he's got to change his mind a little bit. It's kind of like when Carmelo came back and he was actually very productive with the Blazers.
Yep,
but the reason
yep.
why he was out of the NBA for like 2 seasons was because he literally couldn't, or he was out for a season. He literally could not like bring himself to like play that role.
Yeah.
And then he ended up doing it on the Blazers. So that was
sure.
cool.
I mean, it's really hard for superstar players to, have that mindset to, go down.
All right, so last but not least, the Warriors, Blazers, Pistons, Hawks. The Warriors get GP2 back. Does this actually increase the chances of the Warriors?
I actually think, because like you said, they're out of the playoffs right now. I think GP2 coming back is significant.
It's very significant. They need that, that dog to, defend, the good perimeter.
They don't have it right now, right?
Players in the West.
I feel like they're asking DiVincenzo to be that guy right now, but
yeah.
DiVincenzo's not.
He is though. He's a scrappy
GP
defender.
is like
but
DiVincenzo
GP is like
times 2.
Clamps, bro. GP is like clamps.
DiVincenzo, I believe,
They don't call him the
three-point-
mitten for nothing.
But he's a better 3-point shooter
Oh yeah.
than GP2. GP2 is an energy player. He'll go get the steal and dunk it and change the momentum, possibly, But I guess do the Warriors? I mean, dude, they're not doing very good right now, obviously in the standings. But like, does this automatically make them like contenders, like top 3 again?
I don't think that any team wants to see him in the playoffs.
Warriors?
Even if you're at a 1-8, like let's say you're Denver and you're 1, you do not want to see the Warriors coming in at number 8.
Yeah, at the end of the day, man, you can't sleep on Steph Curry, man.
So you're saying, Warriors versus Nuggets. You think the Nuggets still got to be on their A game?
If the Warriors are full health, that's going 7.
Wow. You don't believe
That's
that?
fair. No, that's fair. That's fair.
You
That's
won
fair.
4.
That's
Nuggets
fair.
won
Hold on,
That's
you
fair.
don't
0.
believe in the chicken nuggets? You
All
don't
right,
believe
all
it.
right, all right.
Let's talk about
Let's
it.
talk about it.
Let's
Who do y'all got?
end off the video on expectations of the top teams.
Exactly.
Oh, by the way, the Warriors, they got rid of James Wiseman. You could say that might help them too. Because,
mean the
anytime.
Pistons?
No,
Help
I'm
the
saying
who?
the Warriors got rid of Wiseman to the Pistons.
So it helps who?
The Warriors.
Right.
Because I'm saying anytime you get rid of players that's like not smiling in the locker room, that can even lift the morale because
exactly.
it's addition through subtraction.
I feel you. I know.
All right,
what
who
you're
do
saying.
y'all got coming out of the conference finals? Who are your 2 teams from each conference?
I got the Suns and the Bucks.
Okay, Suns and the
in the
Bucks.
finals?
All
Okay,
right,
but
no,
what about
conference
in the Western
Talking about
Conference
the
Finals?
Oh.
David?
2-2, and then who you got winning those?
It's probably going to be, the Suns and Denver coming
Suns
out of the
and
West.
Denver, and then East. Milwaukee, Boston.
Yeah, Milwaukee, Boston. But I don't know. It depends, right? On the seeding, they could see each other earlier, right?
Right.
Right. Well,
Andrew?
I guess we're just talking about who are the top teams that we think should be in the conference finals. I guess whether or not the seeding actually works out that way. I mean, for the West, Suns and Warriors.
Oh, I was thinking that.
I just don't trust the Nuggets, man. I like Jokic, but I don't trust him. And then obviously in the East, I think you got to roll with Celtics, Bucks.
Man, so y'all gonna say Memphis ain't gonna make it, man? They're not gonna, gritty their way into the finals. But no, I think so too. I think coming out of the West, I would say people was gonna say Denver, Phoenix, but I think Warriors might be a sleeper team. Like you said, if everybody goes healthy, I'm gonna have to say Warriors and Phoenix as well. And then in the East, it's given. I think Milwaukee or Boston. I don't think the Sixers are. The Sixers are talented, but I don't think the mindset and the mentality can get them past the
Yeah, they
Western
seem
Conference.
like a goofy
Western
team,
Conference
man.
Finals,
No,
yeah.
Goofy,
they
man.
don't play like great basketball. Like
Think
I'm
about
not
Embiid in there
No.
doing the Triple H thing.
Listen, Embiid.
SMD.
Embiid is one of the most lethal guys in the NBA, but I just like everything around him and just the fact that Harden's jumping off the bench like he doesn't even know he's supposed to still be in the game. I'm like, how does your star point guard not know when he's supposed to be in the game? Star point guards are supposed to have the highest IQ out of everybody.
Because his mind is at Tootsie's. Now we got to just get into some real deep cut Lakers stuff real quick to end off, because I know you follow the Lakers very closely, as do a lot of people around the world globally. I think the Lakers is the biggest team in the NBA globally.
I mean, they post them on House of Highlights, Sports Center like 500
what-
times a day.
What do you think, Bev, for Mo Bamba, man? Because obviously a lot of people would say Mo Bamba has a lot more upside, not from a media perspective, because Pat Bev is hilarious, but from adding value to the team. I mean, Pat Bev really wasn't hitting his shots too often. I would say 1 out of every 10 games. What do you think, man? Because Mo Bamba at one point was highly touted.
Hey, man, I think coming from a Lakers fan, I don't think that trade really means anything. I don't think the Lakers necessarily got better, nor did they get worse. But, I think, Mo Bamba provides interior defense, but, he's
Very, very
he's not
inconsistent offensive player.
How is he going to contribute?
Yeah, I would
offensively?
say, would you say that Mo Bamba almost kind of plays like a C grade or a C minus grade AD?
Nah,
Well,
not
just because he
even close.
shoots and he
don't-
blocks, that's
yeah.
why.
He-
He's almost like a Serge
hey, hey,
Ibaka, yeah.
Bol or Mo Bamba?
I would take Bobo.
Yeah.
For sure. Bobo any day.
Yeah. Shout out to Rui Hachimura, Yuta Watanabe, by the way.
Oh yeah. Nelson, big Lakers fan. What's your prediction with Rui? Like, how do you think he's contributing so far?
I think Rui was a really good pickup for the Lakers, coming for a few weeks ago. But I think he's kind of still adjusting to, playing with LeBron and stuff like that. I feel like he has to play more aggressive, in terms of attacking the rack and shooting. I think he's still adjusting. But all right, he's being passive to LeBron and passive to AD. But
He's trying to defer to the stars,
yeah, he's
right?
deferring, yeah. But I think,
Very
for the Lakers
Japanese.
to, succeed, I think Hachimura got to be more aggressive offensively.
Nelson, what does Austin Reeves realistically add to the Lakers? Like, is he overrated? Is he kind of overhyped because he's like, the nice white guy that's like, always surprises
Yeah, him
people?
or Caruso, because it seems like everybody,
Lakers always need like a nice white kid that like can dunk.
Hey, Lakers always be, drafting the good, white players. But I mean, AR-15, you need a player like him who can, hustle player. He's crafty. He can get buckets. He can shoot. He's just missing a little bit of that Alex Caruso defense, right? But I think he's a solid. He's
probably
rotational player.
probably a better offensive player.
No,
than
he's a
Alex.
better offensive player than Caruso, but Caruso's defense, when you need that in the playoffs,
Right.
clamping star players. And
I
stuff
feel like
that.
Caruso's career is kind of being wasted on the Bulls because they're not even gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah, Caruso, Lonzo, those young guys, man. It's tough. But, I think we're going to wrap it as that. Hope you guys enjoyed that video on our NBA talk on Checkup. Let us know if you guys like to see us talk about more, topics, whether it's NBA, basketball, whatever it is, man. Hope you guys enjoy it. Until then, we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Nice beat. Give it up. Thinking these women they excite me. Give it up. Wishing y'all can pass me. Run it up. Step in. I'm moving at high.